Okay. Oh man, what a terrible loss for our Blue Jays. Wow, that sucked. Complete meltdown on both sides of the ball. In a playoff atmosphere on April 5th, man, a playoff atmosphere. So I get it. Lots of time to go. Long way to go. It's not over. It's fine. It's fine. I get it. But man, in a playoff atmosphere like that is the type of game that good teams find a way to win. And obviously tonight, our Blue Jays did not find a way to win it. Okay. There's lots of things we're going to point at here. I think first we have to start with the bullpen and the bullpen decisions. Chris Bassett, first of all, we'll start with Chris Bassett. Okay, Chris Bassett was brilliant tonight. 6 2/3 and 9 strikeouts. Didn't allow a run. Only 4 hits. He was awesome, awesome man. He loves pitching in New York against the Mets. He is so good against them, man. Wow, he had them guessing all night. Like they had no clue what was coming, and I guess that's when Bassett's at his best. Obviously, right? Like he could throw any of those 8 pitches to any spot at any time, and he was doing it. He had the Mets guessing all night. It was perfect. Okay, so he gets through 6 2/3 scoreless. Jays are up 2-0, and he gets into I think he gives up a base runner, and it's Jimmy Garcia to put out the fire. Okay, with 2 outs, figure you can probably use him in the bottom of the 7th too. It's fine. He comes out. He's only throwing 94. Can't seem to land the fastball. The slider is the only one he can land for strikes, and that he had any idea where it was going. So it's fine, right? Like Jimmy ends up getting out of the jam, so it's fine. But the decision is to bring Brendan Little out of the bullpen to start the bottom of the 8th against the top of the Mets lineup. So, which is obviously Lindor, Soto, and then Alonso. Lindor, the switch hitter, you don't even get the platoon advantage against. So it's not like you get back-to-back lefties for Little to get a good start against. So he ends up walking Lindor in a pretty non-competitive at-bat. I think he only threw him 1 strike. Like, he was down in the count the whole time. And then you have to face Soto, and okay, lefty. Obviously, the Jays liked that matchup. They loved it enough to do it to Flu Hardy yesterday. But so they loved that matchup, and Little gets him to 2 strikes, and then immediately gives up a jam shot single. So like it'll happen. Like most left-handed hitters are probably out, right? Like Soto's so strong, man. Like for him to hit that ball into the outfield, all due respect, tip your cap to a great. I guess we're already tipping our caps. It's April 5th and we're tipping our caps, Owen. Like, what are we doing? But we're gonna tip our caps to a great hitter in Juan Soto. So Little, of course, is only able to get Alonso. He gets him striking out. So we're like, okay, there's a chance, but still in a pretty big jam. Brandon Nimmo made a pretty big bid for a hit. He had a 105-mile-an-hour line out. And we're like, you know what? We might get out of trouble here. We got lefty again. Little against Winker. Mets made a decision here. They could have pinch hit for Winker and brought in a righty, but it would have been Sandlin. And they obviously liked the Little matchup against Winker better. And as you know, it worked out for them because Winker, and this is another thing that's going to bother me. We're not going to complain about umpires for too long here, but you got to bear with me because Little gets up early. He gets strike one. And then there's a pitch in the dirt that Winker pretty clearly offers at. Like, if we look at the freeze frame, I'll put it in the video after. If we look at the freeze frame, he pretty clearly swung the bat and offered at the pitch. It ends up being called a no swing by the third base umpire, which sucks. Nobody really made a big deal out of it on the broadcast and on the diamond, but like that's a huge swing. Ball versus a strike, especially with 2 outs and runners on base like that in that point in the ball game. So it should have been strike 2. And then Little ends up getting another swing and a miss against Winker, which would have been strike 3, ends up only being strike 2. And then obviously the next pitch is crushed over George Springer's head. And obviously we're hoping George is okay. Hopefully we're going to get an update soon and it's nothing too serious. Like hopefully not his head. Like, oh, that would be terrible. Terrible. He's off to such a good start too. Anyways, crushed over Springer's head and he yard sails into the wall. And Winker's running around the bases. The Mets tie the game. And it's just like Brendan Little's the guy in the 8th inning against the top of the Mets order. And like we're shocked that they gave up runs and he gave up 2 runs and gave up the lead. Like, I'm not, and I'm a Brendan Little guy. I'm a Brendan Little believer. I have been since spring training and like coming into the offseason. I was a Brendan Little believer, and I think he's got a spot in the bullpen. But I don't think it's like as your setup guy, like, and I get we burnt Jimmy and like the bullpen's a little banged up without Swanson right now, but man, like I feel like we need another piece, Ross. Like it shouldn't have been Brendan Little. It's a terrible spot to put him in, and obviously he didn't have the success. We could talk about the top of the ninth. Like Jays get out of this tied somehow. Like that inning ends, and we're like, this game is over. The Blue Jays are losing this game. Okay, but obviously that's not what it said on the score sheet because the Jays still had a chance to win. Um, Jays put up a fight against Edwin Diaz, obviously the Mets closer, and Bo and Vlad managed to reach base, which is awesome. Like you'd love to see like Bo with a little soft serve single. Vlad, I don't know if they ended up calling it an E1. They should have. It was a terrible swing on a 2-0 count that he got jammed on and hit back to the pitcher that Diaz couldn't make a play on. But anyways, they got first and second and less than 2 out, and like Tony Tater strikes out swinging. Like, and I know he's a slow starter, and we got to be patient with him. But man, like maybe put a little bit of an at bat together. Like I guess he saw some pitches, but man, Tony, you really wish he could have like soft served something. You know what I mean? You really wish he could have just soft served something in the outfield and sent Bo scampering around the bases. And then Andres Jimenez, like, and this is what happens like when that guy's your cleanup hitter. And he's been off to a torrid start, man. He has been incredible. I love watching him play. I'm not just going to say defense. Like I love watching him play baseball. I think he takes really competitive at bats in a lot of situations. But against a guy like Edwin Diaz, like, and I get most hitters are, but Andres Jimenez looks overmatched. Like he didn't really have a chance. He goes down swinging at a pitch at his ankles, like in a 3-2 count. Like the only pitches he didn't swing at were the ones that were either in the right-handed hitter's batter box or behind him. So not a great like performance from your 3-4 hitters with guys on base and less than 2 out. I guess 2 out for Jimenez. But like we got a guy in scoring position and less than 2 out in the top of the ninth with your 3 and 4 hitters coming up. We got to score that run, man. You get punched in the face, you got to punch back. Okay. So Nick Sandlin, he cleaned up the Brendan Little mess in the bottom of the 7th, or in the bottom of the 8th, and he comes back out to start the 9th. And it's a decision like I'm with because it's a tie game, so we're not bringing in Hoffman, we're not bringing in our closer. So yeah, we're gonna ride or die with Nick Sandlin here. There's nobody else in the bullpen unless you want Fluharty. Jacob Barnes is probably down, and none of us want to see that. So, oh my god, it's Nick Sandlin, which is fine, man. Like we brought him in here to be a piece, so time to be a piece. Like this is a big spot, tie game, top of the 9th or bottom of the 9th, sorry. And he doesn't really have it. Like he ends up getting a quick out against Brett Beatty, the ground out, and then walks the 8 hitter and Jose Siri, a guy who like a little bit of power, but not really a threat, and we're walking him. Okay. Luis Torrens soft serves a single, like, yeah, like good pitching. Like, what are you going to do about it? 71.7 miles an hour on the exit velo for that Torrens single. And you hate to see that for Sandlin. But here's where, like, this is what bothered me the most. Everything else was defensible until this point. Jeff Hoffman comes into the game. Why does Jeff Hoffman come into the game, John Schneider? Like, we got to ride or die with Sandlin here. Like, I guess if Hoffman manages to get the 2 outs against Lindor and Soto, right? So it's the top of the lineup. I get it. Like, we don't trust Sandlin. But, like, Sandlin's just as likely to get a ground ball double play as Hoffman is, or we're going to ask Hoffman to, like, strike out both these guys and get into deep counts and then come back out and pitch again early in the season. Like, that's so hard to do, man. Like, go deep in the outings, do up downs for relievers. It's asking a lot out of Hoffman if we were to do it, but it didn't matter because Lindor immediately crushes a line drive to to Miles Straw in center, and Siri ends up scoring the game-winning run, and the Jays get walked off. So, like, there's a lot we could talk about the bullpen decisions and like that one swing call. At the end of the day, the Jays scored 2 runs, right? And it's hard to be livid at bullpen decisions when your team scores 2 runs, right? For me, it's going to start and end with the offense. It was like this last year. It was like this in 2020, 2023. And that team was good, man. That 2023 team was good. They ended up making the playoffs. If you're only going to score 2 runs off Griffin Canning, I don't have much for you.